Aren't you cute? Aren't you adorable? Alright, I'm just getting my stuff down here for a big visit. Dr. Ferguson is on her way. Speaking. Swap the Cisco feed over. Cam 7. I think it's this one. No, it's probably not this one. No. There we go. Alright, so audio from cam 3. Okay, so on the Cisco feed, you should be able to hear me now. I'll turn it up a little. Hopefully it's not too loud. Can you move the camera a little closer too? Just getting ready for Dr. Ferguson. She should be here very soon. And she will be doing a Q&A. And so you guys can ask questions in the chat. We'll try to look at both chats in Cisco and TIP. If you're hearing an echo right now, you need to mute one of the streams. You guys can ask what she thinks about Cisco not visiting her babies for 5 hours. Maybe I'll weigh these guys real quick while we're waiting. Hopefully she got my text message. Oh, I think she might be here. Oh, I'll be right back. Hi. people watching the Cisco cam can hear you and people watching the TV cam.
Oh.
I think it's going to be interesting too.
Oh, look at you.
I know. I think
Oh,
so. Isn't she the best mom ever?
Yes. Look at you. Well, you don't seem stressed.
No. She was, in fact, so I was in the bathroom weighing the kittens, and she heard them meowing and opened the door and came rushing in and tried to start grabbing them and taking them back with her.
From you?
Mm-hmm.
Tip, you're so beautiful.
And then I was weighing one of them and she grabbed it and took it back. She's like, don't make these babies squeak.
Good girl.
So I don't know, you can sit on that or you can have one of these nice cat beds or...
I'm good with whatever. Where are you going to sit?
I was going to sit by the computer over here. Okay, so you can sit.
Oh,
Wherever you want, you can move things around.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, camp out on a power strip.
Oh, but am I blocking the camera like this? No, that one's there.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
this is just audio only for the Cisco feed.
Oh,
So
okay.
you won't see what's displayed there, but we'll see the chat in both of them. Can everybody hear us okay?
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
just have to pet you a
I
little
know.
bit.
Isn't she so
I
wonderful?
just have to pet you because you're so amazing. Oh, beautiful girl. Oh.
So everyone, this is Dr. Renee Ferguson from Mountain View Veterinary Hospital in Langley. It's near Willowbrook Mall. She has long been our tiny kittens vet, and I'm sure most of you know who she is. Many of you call her Dr. Fabulous. So she very generously stepped up to sponsor Cisco and her kittens. And so maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. And also came by to answer questions because of Toothless and, you know, Cisco and Tip. And there have been lots of questions going on. So we thought it would be a good idea to get some, you know, if you guys have burning questions about any of the situations, any of the weird situations that are happening at Tiny Kittens HQ, you can ask them and we'll try to get the actual official vet answer.
It's going to be hard to keep my hands off of her.
I know, but you should
She's
feel
like,
free to move closer.
oh no, I don't want to disrupt the good stuff.
I was gonna weigh the
Oh,
this is a Cisco baby and this is a Cisco baby, the little black ones.
Yeah.
Well, Torty and black.
Yeah.
But they, when they come in here, it's like they plug right in and they do not unplug.
And
or
are you
anything.
rotating them through, or
Yeah.
you just not necessarily just took some through? You're just rotating them.
So I'm rotating them in order of smallest to biggest or least weight gain to most weight gain.
Yeah.
So these are the second set. The first set gained 16 grams and 14 grams in 4 hours.
Yeah.
And these guys had gained like 4 and 6 after maybe 2 hours. So I hadn't weighed them again, but I have to figure out like how many, because the more I go into Cisco's room, the more she's stressed out. But
Right.
But she hasn't been back to the nest for probably almost 5 hours now, which is a long time.
Yeah.
So
When I was looking last night, it was, I think it's hard to tell because I didn't actually watch it for the whole time, but someone had said it had been like 6 hours or something like that.
And she had been with them more after I took the first 2 out. She'd gone in several times during that 4 hour period. So I was hopeful that maybe she would start going a little bit more, but she's just been, like I can see her. She's hanging out in one of the other nest areas, so. And they've got a heating pad in there, so they should be okay, but they're probably pretty hungry. And I don't think, you know, obviously Tip can't carry a load
Yeah,
for
that's a lot
everybody.
of kittens.
So I may do a little supplementing.
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's kind of uncharted territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, if you don't intervene, is it better? If you intervene, is it better? Because it's hard to watch kittens not do well, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's,
And they're doing okay so far. They're not like, they've had like a gram or two of weight loss, or they've gained a few grams. So they're not like, you know, struggling, but you don't like to see them go that long this young, right? So, but yeah, I don't want to go in just as she's about to go.
Right.
The other thing I could do is throw them into her cabinet of solitude and see if she feels safer in there. but then, she may end up just moving somewhere else.
I don't know. I don't think there's any right answers. It's really difficult.
So, So I guess first of all, do you want to tell everyone why you decided to sponsor Cisco and what you're hoping to, I guess just why you decided to do it, because I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I feel, and we all do it at Mountain View, that we're pretty privileged to be able to do so. We were so excited to do that. I obviously have been made much more aware of the feral cat population because of Shelley and because of LAPS. And I think it is a community problem, just like communities have lots of problems. The feral cat population, I mean, as probably all the viewers know, have a huge environmental impact in not a positive way. They can just sort of completely wipe out some of the wildlife bird population and really disrupt the ecosystem. And so as far as environmental impact, if you're looking at it from that point of view, it's a difficult thing. From a cat point of view, these are cats that were originally like abandoned, not taken care of, and it's a tough life. And so I think that this is probably one of the coolest ways of dealing with the feral cat population. Feral cats, I mean, as a veterinarian, they spread disease, and then when, to household cats that are owned, they're reservoirs for diseases. It's a super tough life for them. Most of them don't survive at all. So I think it's a community problem on many different levels. So I'm glad that we get to be a little bit of a part of that, and also Shelley bringing awareness to our area and around the world to help what we can, and then get these kittens out into loving homes and put the feral cats. I do agree with the feral cats going back to the colony, because I think from what they're used to, they would have miserable lives if they were put in a home. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't get it socially. They would feel very broken and shut down and not okay. So I think this is a good compromise, because I also don't feel good with the other options of dealing with feral colonies. My heart would break. I wouldn't be okay with that. So I think that it takes a lot of work, and it's so wonderful that Shelley is. This is a full-time job plus for you with not very many resources. That sort of goes along with my belief. As far as why we decided to sponsor this letter, is that I knew from having some conversations with Shelley and talking about that it was possibly a little bit of a struggle, and that with so many demands on viewers' resources, that I didn't think it should be a stress for Shelley. I didn't think that the cat should be compromised on their care at all. And I think it's a great way to get education out to the public. So I think as a business, taking responsibility for the community and the problems in the community is an awesome thing. As a business owner, I think our staff are totally stoked. They have so much pride that we're doing something also good for the community. Awesome. So I think that's a great. I think that's a great thing as a business owner, because everybody who owns a business wants their team or their staff to feel really good about what they do. You're not just going there and getting a paycheck. You're contributing to the world, and you have some pride, and you can hold your head high. So that's one benefit. And obviously the other benefit is that the people out that are our clients and things, they have faith that we are trying to make the world better. So I think even from a business perspective, it's a good thing for businesses to do, to do something good. Then people So I think on so many levels it's a good thing. So I feel very happy that we can do it.
Well, you know that I'm very grateful, and I think it's so cool that you came up with the idea, and that also hopefully we can use it as an example to encourage other local businesses to kind of take ownership of our community cats, and maybe encourage businesses in other areas to help take ownership, because they do belong to all of us. So, and if you don't know, community cats is another term for feral cats or unowned cats that, you know, are free living and don't necessarily belong to anybody, and so therefore belong to all of us. So I think that's super cool. And yeah, so Dr. F, the world is grateful. Yeah, so, and if you guys have questions at any point, just go ahead and put them in the chat, and I'll try to see them, and we'll talk about. Oh, Dr. F has not been out to the Happy Forest. We should take you out there someday. That would be fun.
I have thought about it, and I thought, oh gosh, wouldn't that be awesome? And I've seen videos, and sometimes Shelly, because I don't always get to go online, she'll send me little snippets of ones that we've helped. And I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, that when I get to see Rhodes out there having a great time and things like that. But I've never wanted to be a draw on Shelly's time. She runs around like a chicken with her head cut off. And I don't want to say, hey, you know, in that 2 free minutes, can you take me out and just satisfy my...
No, I would love
to show it to you. You're so busy. And I get to, you know, just like everybody else there, I get to see it on the video, and it makes me feel awesome. And the same as far as the feral cats is that, I mean, look at those poor cats that had their eyes, you know, in so much pain. And that population of cats, needs to be controlled so things like that happen, because, you know, and then there's ones out there dying of all sorts of awful things. So if we can, it's a bit of a longer term solution, but if we can go in there and help that, I think that is amazing.
And it's amazing just seeing I know I talk about this all the time, but seeing the difference in the cats after they're spayed and neutered and returned, just how relaxed and stress-free, and they become so playful, and they're so affectionate with each other, and they're just sleeping in the sun, and their whole biological mandate changes. And it's heartwarming to see that. It's a whole different way of looking at rescue, and it's not the same fairy tale endings that we think of traditionally with cats getting adopted, but it still is a fairy tale ending. No doubt about it. I don't think we're going to check on Cisco's kittens. I don't know. I haven't actually. Okay, here's a good question while I ponder that one. So, Dr. F, please talk about Toothless, and if he had a congenital problem, how likely will his siblings be to have the same problem?
Right. I think it's super likely that he did have a congenital defect. He was so tiny. And I know it's just like my cat.
She's a Torby.
Yes. So I think it's super likely. He was so little. Even when my husband and I were looking out of the names that Shelly had suggested is, you know, and I think Toothless was great. The reason I did it, it was like, because I have another patient that's called Toothless that's also black.
Oh.
So, and then actually also watches the Facebook.
Oh.
So, but anyway, so, yeah. Is that I really do think that he had a congenital defect. And Shelly had some comments about what the Emerge vet that totally makes sense. Whether he wasn't born with a normal liver, I think is totally probable. When breeders of dogs and cats breed animals, their losses out of a litter are often around 20%. So when you actually know the health and the background of the parent, and you know generations back, unfortunately, Mother Nature weans out about 20% of them. So, so I think that's unfortunately part of part of life, which totally sucks. My heart was breaking this morning when I got up and I saw my phone and I saw that Shelly had tried to, wanted to get a hold of me and that she was at the Emerge. Yeah, we had talked about that. So I think he did have a congenital defect, and it's very nice that he was kept loved and warm, and because if he was out in the wild, he would have made it less, and he would have had a much more awful passing.
Okay, that's a good answer. I was just doing this chat. Lots of questions coming through in the chat. And what are the odds his siblings might have something?
Not very likely.
Okay,
I think it's not very likely. There is such a weight difference. And like I said, when I talked about the odds of what sort of Mother Nature and breeders, when you know their history, they have a typical breeder actually also has less success rate than Shelly does.
That's yeah.
So I think that things, you know, as all these litters happen, things unfold, things pop up. We'll probably discover things, but I think that it'll, you know, it's just like with children or pets or kids. You never know what you're gonna get. But I think I don't think that I think it's unlikely.
And then someone wanted you to define congenital defect.
Oh, a congenital defect is when they're basically they're not made right. There is something in their genes that they didn't form properly. A congenital defect can be a little tiny abnormality where they have a little tiny umbilical hernia where their belly button sticks out. It can be where their eyes are a tiny bit too small, or a congenital defect can be where you're born with not a normal heart.
Or like Marvy with his
little cleft nose. Yeah, cleft nose. Or they have a little hole in their heart. Their liver wasn't hooked up properly in circulation. Congenital defects are any sort of, and all those things are controlled by genes, and usually out of our control. And often they can be congenital defects. Those are genes that are passed down through parents.
So,
sometimes defects happen to humans, to animals, because of insults that happen while they're pregnant. You know, like toxins, nutritional deficiencies, viruses, and the congenital ones happen because of genes. So I hope that helps with the explanation.
That's a good answer too. So can you explain how someone could tell if a kitten is just sleepy versus if they're lethargic?
Like a young kitten?
Yeah, like I was with Toothless. He was pretty lethargic and weak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't want to just keep trying to get him to eat. And so, you know, I wanted to give him some time to rest. But, you know, there is a difference between.
Yeah. Then when you can tell that something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the big obvious thing that was wrong is that he wasn't born the right size. So you can check to see that when we look for puppies and kittens, that they're latching, they're nursing, they have a good suckle reflex, that they're gaining weight the way they should. And there is developmental milestones that kittens should have, like they all should be born with a suckle reflex. They should be able to scream. And as they get older, we look for them stages when they should be able to walk, open their eyes, hear, and we're looking for those milestones to make sure that they're normal. So really just he was underweight. He wasn't obviously able to nurse properly. He just wasn't given the tools to survive.
All right. So, and this is a good one. can you go through the whole health risks and kind of our discussion and thought process behind whether to introduce Cisco's kittens to TIP for nursing and feline leukemia testing and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's a hard question, and I bet if you ask a bunch of different people, you get a bunch of different answers. And I think it's where there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. And Shelley and I had a few phone calls or discussions about it beforehand. When would be the right thing or the time to mix them? Because even TIP, we get concerned that.
Oh, you were allowed to have that chat?
It's a very beautiful
Maybe
one.
we should try to trim your nails while we're here.
So it could be that TIP is hiding some viruses that we don't know about. Maybe probably she's been exposed at some time in her life to herpes virus and Kalichi virus. And it's very probable, even though she's not showing signs, and it's the very same as far as Cisco goes. We found that cats in the colony some of them have Kalichi virus. They've probably all certainly been exposed. So at what point do you decide that it's in the, and we do have the tools and the resources that when they break with these viruses to give them as much symptomatic care as we can to get them through it, versus saying, no, we're absolutely going to keep the litters separate, even though one mom can't cope and the other mom can maybe handle a little bit more. It's a difficult one, and I think in hindsight the answer will be obvious, but and you didn't do that lightly. You're really,
Right.
You went in and say, okay, we don't want to watch these kittens fade away because they're not getting enough milk.
Right.
There's another mom that can certainly handle, and neither of them are showing any signs of illness. So I think it was a calculated risk. And
Yeah. And also the kind of the holistic care of the kitten. It's nicer for the kitten to be getting a mom and not be, because the other option would be taking them away and bottle feeding them.
Yeah.
And that's good when that's your only option, that's the best option. But if you have another option that gives them access to a mom who's friendly, who's not afraid of humans, and who's going to take care of them the way a mom cat takes care of them, that's, I think, a benefit to be considered too.
And I think that really the cat formula is really second best. Like, it's not going to have any immunity. It's not going to have any protection against when these guys are through their mom's milk. And through TIP's milk, they're getting some protection from viruses, and they're building up their immune system and stuff. And formula does not have that. Nutritionally, it meets the basics. But I even find with their GI tract, they're not the same when they're on the formula.
And we always have either diarrhea or constipation.
Yeah.
Right. It's never quite right.
So I think, and sharing moms is not a new thing in the world either. People know examples in humans, and I had a dog even last week that went into a false pregnancy and started lactating. I mean, Mother Nature's been doing it for a long time.
Oh,
So, right?
so precious. Thank you for that. I've tried to explain it a couple times, but I think it's good coming from you too to hear that. And so kittens that little are too small to draw blood from, and also wouldn't test positive for about 6 weeks. Is that?
Yeah, they very well might not test positive, or we might get a false negative and some reassurance for doing a feline leukemia test right now. I would feel so much better taking, or more reliant, if we could take some blood on Cisco, but that is, we could just totally upset her world and turn everything sideways. On the positive side is through labs and tiny kittens. Many of the all of the moms have been tested for feline leukemia so far, and they've all been negative. Many of the kittens, because as people know that some of the kittens from the colony and stuff have been tested positive for ringworm, and the protocol is whenever they're positive for ringworm, they automatically get tested for feline leukemia, and they're all coming back positive. And one of the first ones that we did at the TNR on the colony too had what I thought was sort of pretty significant dental disease for the age of the cat, and that can also be a sign of feline leukemia. He tested he tested negative also. So there hasn't, touch wood, and let's hope there hasn't been a positive. So I think the risk of her being positive and is unlikely, but we will check.
Yeah, so we will check her when she goes for her spay.
And I think trapping her is wrong. Would not be a good decision.
Yeah, it would be stressful. Okay, that's good. How much longer can Cisco's kittens go without feeding? They probably should be fed soon. If it's been about 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I might actually go grab them
or what about putting them in? I don't know. Yeah, putting them in the box where she is.
Yeah, I could try that. I could try that first and see what happens.
You know her. I mean, I watched you on the video of getting her from the trap and out, and it's so smooth. So I think really you're the expert in this. And yeah,
maybe I will go.
I don't know.
Go stick them in there.
I mean, as we all just want her to nurse them.
I know it's hard to watch sometimes, for sure. For me too.
Especially for you.
It's just, I have to weigh the risk of, if I wait another half hour, is she going to go in and feel safer versus if the human predator goes in and touches her babies again, is that going to just make her stay away longer? I don't know. It's just one of those things we have to see. So maybe Dr. Ferguson can tell you about this question while I go try to stick them in the cabinet of solitude with her and see what happens.
But if you think my suggestion was wrong.
Oh no, she's actually not in. She has vacated the cabinet of solitude. Let's see where she is. She may be making her way in there right now. Or not.
Very focused. Like major. Will it happen?
Maybe she's feeling uncomfortable by now and needs a little bit of relief in that area. That's cam 5. Okay. Cam 5. I don't know which one my room cam is. Nope. I'm just trying to find the room view so that I can see where she is in the room, and if she looks like she's approaching the babies, then I'll give her a few more minutes. But if it looks like she's invisible. So she's not on the ledge. She's not laying by the nest. She may be in the opposite nest eating. So I'm just going to keep looking for her. I have about... Oh, she's back in there. That little scamp. Okay. I'm gonna go throw some babies in there. Wish me luck, and maybe Dr. Ferguson can answer why do kittens from the colony seem to have ringworm, but the pregnant cats that have come in so far don't, and how does nature treat ringworm in the colony? Okay.
I'll go over second.
There's a good one.
See, and I only have theories.
There's the chat. Do you want to see the question?
I will try.
It's that top one.
Okay. So I think that so we all get exposed and animals get exposed to ringworm all the time. So, but most of us walking around have healthy immune systems. So I think that the cats that are going to get pregnant are usually the healthy cats. The ones that are sick are going to be less likely to get pregnant. So I think that usually it's the young ones that are struggling, and they also their immune systems are naive. They have upper respiratory tract infections. They're more susceptible to fungal infections that probably people get exposed, or we all get exposed to, and they all the time. Well before we all had intrafungal and antibiotics. Animals used to get over these types of things, but the strong ones got over them. So that would be my theory about um, why the pregnant moms are probably the healthiest in the colony, and why they are not coming in with ringworm. I mean, it's not that it will never happen, but I think that it's just a little bit less likely. I'm just looking at Shelly's screen and seeing about the other questions while she's in the other room, and I'm so excited. Hopefully, nurse. How does nature treat the ringworm in the colony? I think that the cats are going to either over a super long time get over it themselves, or they're not. And these cats, if we were going to age a lot of the cats in the colony, they're going to get taken over by disease, and for predators and worms and viruses and things, and that's what's going to happen to the ones that are immunosuppressed. So I'm going to just try. I hope I don't mess things up. So I hope I answer the questions. I'm going to look back at the screen. Is there any risk that Cisco might reject the babies that have been with TIP? There is. There is that risk. And that's sort of, I think, the thing that Shelley's been toying with is that, or debating probably with a heavy heart, is that what is the right decision in this situation? I think you can only watch them for so long, and then your heart breaks, and you don't want to sit there and see them die and starve. Do you ever perform an autopsy on newborn kittens to watch them touch, or do you ever perform an autopsy on newborn kittens to see why they passed away? Yes, I have. I've done it on patients of breeders, and in animals, an autopsy is when it's done on humans, because that's your own species. When you do technically an autopsy on another species, it's called a necropsy. So in veterinary medicine, we call it a necropsy, and I have done a necropsy on ones that to see why they've passed away. So that sort of passed through my mind too. I have done it more when I think that it's going to make a difference, or it's going to help in the future, as far as, so I always do it when owners have asked me, and there are pathologists that's what they do for a living, and they're very good at it. So I hope that helps with that question. I was reading some of them off by myself.
Well, that's good. Good job. I did just toss the kittens in with Cisco. She's now on the ledge.
Oh dear.
So I'll give her a few minutes to go check them out, and then if she doesn't go check them out,
Are you gonna go find your mom? Are you gonna go find your mom?
then I will
Oh, you guys are so adorable.
maybe I'll bring them in here and get a bottle going or something. Okay, let's see. How are you on time?
I'm pretty good. I can see for a bit more.
Okay. Oh, do we need the audio? Sorry. Cam 3. Oh, it should be on. Everyone should be getting audio. Okay. Okay. Would Tip be able to take on all of Cisco's babies if it came to that? And if not, what would you recommend as the next step?
I don't think that she could probably take them on as far as a nursing requirement. I don't know what the world record is, but it would be that's a lot. I think, and Shelley probably knows too, if it totally went south and Cisco neglected those kittens, it would be probably putting them in with these guys and supplementing with bottle feeding, I guess. What had you thought about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think putting them in shifts.
Yeah.
And then bottle feeding the others.
Yeah. So that everybody gets enough. But,
because her bio babies are like really nice and fat and pudgy, and she's doing a great job. But I also don't want to have like a sharp increase in demand of her milk supply too.
No, because we want her to be healthy and happy.
What are you doing? I will smoosh you right now if you speak. Isn't she so cute? So Cisco is now off the ledge and in the nest where the kittens were.
Oh dear.
So, oh no, now she's not. Now she's actually heading toward the cabinet of solitude. So stand by. She could be going in.
Should we all cheer?
I think so. I think we will all. I think we will all cheer. So she's off the. She's in that corner somewhere. Hopefully, she's not gone into the bunker of solitude with Mila. There's so many places. I made so many awesome places for them to have nests that now it's hard to cover the whole room. There. She's investigating the outside. It's very exciting. That's where they are. That's where she is. Oh, she's going back up to the ledge. I mean, I did just like invade her cabinet of solitude with a bunch of scary babies. We couldn't put a large crate kennel to keep Cisco with the babies because I would have to trap her to get her in there. And I think that would be pretty stressful. I think that would be challenging. And she is feral, so if she's cornered, she may get ferocious. Would there have been, since Tip and her family were going to be in the same home as a feral here, I guess, would there have been a downside to vaccinating her on capture and maybe passing some immunity onto the babies?
There is a risk with vaccinating while they're pregnant. So I think that that wouldn't be a good idea. We try to avoid vaccinating pregnant animals if possible so that we don't harm the pregnancy. And probably Cisco has some good immunity in some way that nature's vaccinated her. She probably has some immunity against, because she's been exposed to viruses constantly.
Yeah, definitely. I've been impressed that she hasn't, the stress of being pregnant and having babies and being captured, because I've had her for 4 weeks. I'm surprised that hasn't triggered any symptoms. Mm-hmm. So she must have somewhat of a strong immune system.
And that was my answer to the ringworm question, is that I think that she has immunity, she's not immunosuppressed, she doesn't have upper respiratory, like the newborns with, get bombarded with all the viruses and they're not vaccinated, and it makes them more susceptible to ringworm, which is in the environment anyways.
Yeah, so, and these kittens are born in an environment without ringworm spores. We hope. No, yeah. And whereas at the property, there's ringworm everywhere, so they're just exposed to it from day one. Oh, Cisco. Poor little Cisco. She's been through a lot. We are not saying that Cisco has rejected her babies.
No,
Nope. I don't think we're at that point yet.
no. We're just anxious, just like everybody else.
Yeah. We have our pearls out too.
I think it's going to be okay. I think Shelley's right. I think that she's going to find that she feels like her little four mammary glands are going to bust. And she's going to go in there.
She'll need something. That's what we're hoping.
And then the little kittens are going to scream, and she's going to put up her little fat ears and go in.
Yeah.
So
I could go try to swap the two out while she's on the ledge, although that's just going to scare her even more. But
it's a tough thing. I mean, just like it's an experiment, right? Well, not an experiment, but it's not like it's treaded territory.
Nope. That's the reason I'm doing it, for everyone to see all of the difficult decisions that we have to make and everything, because there's no information available. There was no information available to me when I first started doing it, and so I'm hoping that other people can at least learn, and whether I make the right decisions ultimately or the wrong ones, at least we'll all learn together, and that's helpful. Now there goes. These are your kittens. They're crawling in the towel loop now. Oh, and the feed just crashed. So I'm gonna restart it. Okay. So let's see. Maybe do you have time for like another question or two?
What it be like?
Okay. Is it possible for the stress to have caused Cisco's milk to dry up?
No, I doubt it. I mean, if those kittens were gaining like as of earlier, and some of them, her milk is not dried up. I think just the hormones of the screening kittens are not going to allow her milk to dry up. The reason that I'm laughing is because I've had 2 kids. And I have been very stressed and tired, and it's not going to dry up.
That's not the cure for it.
It's going to drive her, I think, towards those kittens. Stop screaming!
Mila is scheduled for her stay on Tuesday, and then she will go home. So I think we're all looking forward to her being able to go home, and happy that she's not pregnant and doesn't have to go through what Cisco's going through. Here's a good question. Who's your favorite kitten?
Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh.
I know that's a tough one. You don't have to answer that.
It's hard. I'm in love with so many kittens. It's true.
Let's see. Now, like, we have a blanket kitten right here. These kittens are very scampy. Like, they're all going into the tube, the blanket tube. It's like back into the womb.
Maybe it's in there.
I will weigh them. I will weigh them and then do a swap. If she's still, she's off the ledge. She's outside the cabinet. She's sniffing around. She hears them. She's just suspicious. So she's going toward the entrance right now. So everyone hold your breath. Nobody make a noise. Maybe she'll go in. All right, let's see if there's one more question. Oh, did she go in?
Yeah, she's in.
She's in. Her
Just so
head's
you know,
in.
I can't leave now.
I know. I know. Now you're trapped. That'll be your fault.
No.
She's sticking her head in. She's looking around. She better not go back to the ledge. Come on, Cisco. I'm here. And she's in the food bin now. So I suspect if I leave her, if I wait another 10 minutes or so, maybe she'll make her way in there. Okay, maybe she was just checking for other kittens. She's definitely trying to figure out what her next move is going to be. This is why I never get any sleep.
You look really good though.
Okay. It's the puppy eyes. So she's now just standing there looking at the cabinet. Very suspenseful.
Mhm.
Let's see if there's anything else. Let's see. Is there a way to swap their smells so Cisco wouldn't be as suspicious when the kittens come back from tip? I don't know. With that, I could get a kitten to pee on another kitten. But
I think, I mean, the other thing is they can tell each other here. I mean, they've been sharing a basement for a while.
mm-hmm.
You know, I have a cat in my basement from Labs right now, and my kids are like, should we tell our cat? I'm like, my cat knows that there's a cat in our basement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can smell, they can hear, they know that they're there, I think.
Yeah,
They know,
I do.
They know that they're there.
Do you think that mama cats can count? Like they know how many kittens they have or don't have? This comes up a lot. Do you think she'll notice if I steal one, or she?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody. I would say probably, but I don't know if they have the same level of, or if their instincts would be the same as ours, because their natural sort of wild instincts would be move on. This is what
Mm-hmm.
to
Start
keep
over.
keep moving on and surviving. And I think she knows that Tip's here, and she can smell her. So I don't know if it's going to be as complicated as that. Do you?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, Tip had absolutely no problem with Cisco scented kittens coming in. She just welcomed them right in. So I don't think Cisco would be put off by that, especially because Cisco comes from a large colony of cats, so she's used to cats being around all the time. So I don't think she would find it terribly off-putting to have another cat smell.
And I think she's had it already.
Yeah.
So I think it's not.
Why does Tip snore? That's a good question.
She's not snoring right now.
Maybe she's a deep sleeper.
Yeah. As far as from a veterinarian goes, the fact that she's sort of resting and breathing deeply right now, and I can't hear any upper respiratory noises, makes me think that there's probably nothing too significant going on up there, as far as being concerned.
That's good. It's a very cute snore.
Somebody says she's snoring right now. I can't
No,
hear it.
she's not snoring right now. No,
because I can't hear her.
You'd be able to hear it if it was. If she does snore occasionally. Why do the kittens like burrowing under the blankets? Probably because it's like the womb. Is there another one on here? I think we talked about most of these ones. Does anyone have one last question for Dr. Ferguson? Oh, this is a good question. Is it possible that all of the human interaction is making her reluctant to stay involved with them?
I don't know. I mean, because you've been around this whole time. So, and you've had other moms too that have, I mean, if she wasn't feral, you would put her in the box, you'd hold her there. Because I see through breeders where some moms are just naturally more attentive than others. And we go and we put the puppies or we put the kittens right on there and we calm them down and we kind of teach them to be good moms, but we can't in this way. So I would take less as far as away from the human interaction and go more for that's just who she is, possibly, until she settles into the job.
Yeah.
Do
I think so. I mean, I think certainly it adds stress to, but she's already in a stressful situation, so
I think she's not, you know, when you think about cats that are shutting down, she's
Mhm.
cruising around the place, she's
Yeah.
snacking, she's going to the bathroom. She's not, you know, when I see cats shut down, they don't eat. I think she's
yeah. I do think she's doing better than yeah, you're right. She's not shut down. She's definitely scared of like human noise, of the weird noises, and she wants to be outside and all of that, but she's definitely less stressed than she could be, which is good.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it could be that she was overwhelmed by so many kittens and she's exhausted and she has hormones and, you know, who knows what all's going on in there. And it could also be feral cats camp out away from the kittens as a predator defense mechanism so that they don't get ambushed with the kittens and they can distract from the kittens.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be any number of things.
Does she nurse them more at night?
She does seem to nurse them more at night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But last night it was not, you know, I was going in and out and tripping over things and trying not to make noise, but making noise. And so that may have been disruptive for her. And I did check on them more than I normally would because I wanted to make sure that no one else was
not doing well.
Yeah. How long, everyone's concerned, how long can those kittens go without eating? This is probably about as long as they should go.
It's nice if they can for sure eat every, 2 to 4 hours academically. But I guess I don't know if we know how long they go in the wild, and they're going to have bigger drinks and not necessarily snack all the time. So,
you can see them though, their activity level, and they're hungry, but they're not lethargic. So
they're not in distress in any way.
They're not in distress. She's still thinking about it, and I will go in there as soon as it seems clear that Cisco's not gonna go back in there. But if at all possible, I would like her to go in there and, stimulate some more maternal instinct hormone stuff if she is going to do it. And she is circling the cabinet again, so I won't wait too long, but that is the best possible solution. And keep in mind that 2 of the 5 kittens in there were with Tip long enough to gain like 13 and 16 grams, so they are in pretty good shape. But the other 3 are probably pretty hungry. So hopefully she will just go around and in.
I saw 2 of the little kittens that were from the colony today
Oh,
as
really?
patients.
Oh.
And they are so loving.
Oh.
They were
Which ones are
Modo and Merida.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's so great because they were they were the 2 most shy ones.
Oh, they were like, here I am. I love me.
That's so amazing.
And the owners are really, really sweet and in love with them. No, I had to run the water when I was listening
Really?
to Moto's heart because he was purring so much.
That's so
I was
awesome.
like, I need to make distracted. I need to listen.
Because he was so scared because they were some of the ringworm ones, right? So they had to go into ISO instead of going into foster care, and they were older, so they didn't get all of the socialization that they normally would get.
There's a kitten dream.
How adorable is that?
I'm chasing something already. I'm gonna get it. No, I just can't run yet.
Oh, so adorable. So, thank you,
You're welcome.
Dr. Ferguson, for coming. Dr. Ferguson, it's mvvet.ca, and we'll do more Q&As throughout the. Oh, I know, it's so cute. That's little mini me. Adorable. So we'll do more of these Q&As And but thank you so much for coming out on your Saturday and spending so much time with us and helping to. And I know lots of crazy things have been happening. Lots of decisions have been made that are potentially difficult to understand and more complicated than you can understand without a lot of explanation. So I think it's really helpful for people to hear from you kind of your perspective on things.
I think the more you see, it's just not black and white, right? It's gray, and you have to just do your best.
Yeah, weigh risks and benefits and have limited information and make a decision. So, all right, I'm gonna switch the audio back, and I'll probably be in Cisco's room soon to swap some kittens around, and so I just need to. There we go. Because the feed keeps crashing because I don't have enough resources. There we go. Okay. All right, there. Look at that little face. And this is the one that was 62 grams, and she's 106 now. See, like she was smaller than Toothless, but she had nothing wrong on the inside.
Yeah.
And that makes all the difference.
Yeah. It does. I know. It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Such a good mama.
She's so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. You may go now.
I feel bad. I'm sure you might be. There's the friendship.
Isn't Dr. Ferguson the best? Explaining all the things to all of us. So, all right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, hi, sweetie pie. I'm going to weigh these guys. I'm going to take them back and then take 3 that haven't been out here yet. And that way Cisco still has babies to work on, because I really don't want to give up on her. It's not time to give up on her yet. She's just needs to figure it out. It's not in anyone's best interest for Cisco to not be involved, so I'm going to keep working on that. 119. Oh, that sounds like a good number. Oh, I get in trouble for making squeaks. Where's my spreadsheet? Okay, 119 for Bluebell, so that's up 11 grams. Good work. Flour. 118. There she is. So 118, so up 6 grams. So that's not bad. Uh-oh. You can't get plugged back in because you have to go back. So I'm just going to check one more time that she's not in there. Oh, did someone think that Cisco is moving babies? Let me see. What to say? Okay. Let's try and see. Okay, no babies in there. No babies there. That's the same corner. Nope. Nope. Takes me a while to cycle through all the cameras. If I had a better computer, then I could see all of them at once, but I have to go through them one at a time. Oh, I don't see babies anywhere, so I will take these 2 little ones back. Let's do a little swapperoo. Aren't you so cute? And we'll get the other 3 going in here. Oh no, you're gonna get me in so much trouble. I know, we wrap you up in a blanket. It's okay. Here, quiet.